Have you ever thought your morning drink could be working against you, not for you? Imagine starting your day thinking you're doing something good for your body, but what that drink is quietly spiking your blood sugar and making your energy crash before noon. It's not about fear. It's about finally knowing the truth. And the truth is, some of the most common morning beverages are silently sabotaging your blood sugar levels, especially after the age of 60. I used to drink some of these almost daily, thinking they were harmless. What I discovered shocked me. And honestly, it helped me take back control of how I feel every day. In this video, I'll walk you through 6 common drinks that seem innocent but can seriously affect your blood sugar. And then I'll reveal the number 1 worst morning drink that I personally believe is the biggest villain of them all. You might have one of these in your fridge right now. But don't worry, I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to help you feel better with small, realistic changes. And if it worked for me, it might work for you too. Stick around until the end, because I'll also share what I drink instead now, and why it's made my mornings completely different. If you care about your health, give this video a like. It helps more people see this message and might just change a life. Number 7, flavored water, sweetened or artificially sweetened. You might think you're doing something good when you grab a bottle of flavored water instead of soda. The label says 0 calories, or maybe lightly sweetened, and that feels safer, right? I used to carry one in my bag every day. It tasted nice, kept me hydrated, and felt like a step up from soda. But here's the thing. Many of these drinks are quietly working against you, especially if you're managing your blood sugar. Behind the fruity flavors and health claims, there's a hidden trap that can make your day start off on the wrong foot. Some flavored waters are sweetened with actual sugar, just enough to trigger a glycemic spike, but not enough to taste overly sugary. Others use artificial sweeteners like sucralose or aspartame. I didn't know this at first, but these sweeteners can confuse the body, making it think sugar is coming. That messes with your hunger signals and insulin response. In my case, I noticed I was craving more sweets during the day, even after drinking 0 sugar water. That's because my brain was expecting sugar and didn't get it, so it kept asking for more. What surprised me most is how these drinks can affect appetite and satiety. A friend of mine, who's a retired nurse, told me she stopped drinking flavored waters and her afternoon snacking dropped dramatically. It turns out, even when there's no sugar, the sweetness can still trick your brain into wanting more food, and often the wrong kind of food. That roller coaster can leave you feeling more tired, more hungry, and less in control. I experienced that too, and it was frustrating, especially when I thought I was being healthy. The other issue is that many people drink flavored waters throughout the day, thinking it's just like drinking plain water. But it's not. It's like having a tiny dessert each time. And if you do that 5 or 6 times a day, it adds up. Your blood sugar might stay on a low simmer all day, just high enough to prevent your body from truly resting, burning fat, or healing properly. For me, switching to real water with lemon or mint made a huge difference. It felt strange at first, but after a few days, the cravings went away. So if you've been sipping flavored waters thinking you're making a better choice, it might be time to look at the label and listen to your body. Try going a few days without them and see how you feel. You might be surprised how much calmer your appetite gets and how your energy stays more steady. It's not about giving up everything you enjoy. It's about finding what actually helps you feel better. I learned it the hard way, but I'm grateful I did. Number 6, diet/0 sodas, artificially sweetened sodas. When I first switched from regular soda to diet, I thought I was making a smart choice. No sugar, no problem, right? But what no one told me is that those 0-calorie drinks can mess with your body in sneaky ways. I drank diet soda almost every day after lunch. It felt refreshing, gave me a boost, and I figured it was a guilt-free treat. But over time, I noticed I was gaining weight around my belly, feeling hungrier, and even craving more sweets. That's when I started asking, if there's no sugar, why is this happening? What I found out was surprising and a little frustrating. Artificial sweeteners like aspartame, sucralose, or acesulfame potassium can confuse your brain and metabolism. Your body tastes the sweetness, thinks sugar is coming, and prepares for it. But when real sugar doesn't show up, It throws off your insulin response and hunger hormones. In simple terms, your body gets tricked and you end up feeling hungrier later. I started snacking more in the afternoons and craving carbs. It wasn't about willpower. It was my body reacting to that daily diet soda. Another thing I noticed was bloating. I didn't connect it to the soda at first, but when I stopped drinking it, my stomach felt flatter and more comfortable. A friend of mine who has diabetes said she cut diet sodas and saw her glucose readings improve, even though they had no sugar. That's how powerful these little habits can be. We think we're avoiding sugar, but we're opening the door to other issues like cravings, mood swings, and long-term weight gain. It's like trying to put out a fire with smoke. It looks right, but it doesn't work. Now, I'm not saying you have to be perfect. I'm not. But if you've been drinking diet sodas, thinking they're a safe bet, maybe try a break. Give it a week or two. Drink water with lemon, cucumber, or even a splash of real juice instead. That's what I did, and not only did my cravings go down, but I also felt more balanced throughout the day. It felt weird at first, I won't lie, but my energy got more steady, and the afternoon snack attacks, they faded away. Your body knows when it's being supported, and it will thank you for it. Cutting diet soda was one of the easiest and most powerful things I did to support my blood sugar. It didn't cost me anything, just a change in habit. And the results came faster than I expected. If you're over 60, your body might be even more sensitive to these sweeteners. It's not about fear. It's about noticing how you feel and giving your body the chance to work better. Sometimes, the small switches make the biggest difference. Number 5, sports drinks. They're brightly colored, full of electrolytes, and often advertised as healthy, especially for people who want to stay active or recover after a walk or workout. I used to think that grabbing a sports drink was a smart move after mowing the lawn or doing my stretches in the morning. It felt like something athletes would do, so why not me? But the truth is, unless you're running marathons or sweating buckets, these drinks might be doing more harm than good, especially when it comes to blood sugar. Many sports drinks contain up to 34 grams of sugar per bottle, and that's just one serving. That's almost as much as a can of soda. And because they're designed to be refreshing, we tend to drink them quickly, which means that sugar rushes into your bloodstream fast. For me, it was like a wave of energy followed by a crash. I didn't realize it then, but I was setting myself up for a roller coaster. Sugar spike, insulin surge, energy drop. It made me more tired in the afternoons and more likely to reach for snacks. Even if the label says electrolytes or hydrates better than water, that doesn't cancel out the sugar. In fact, it can make it worse because we think we're doing something healthy. A neighbor of mine, who walks every morning for his knees, used to bring a sports drink every time. But when his doctor showed him how it was affecting his blood sugar, he switched to plain water and a banana instead, and his energy improved. Real hydration doesn't have to be sweet. I've also noticed that these drinks can create a kind of habit, a reward after movement. But when I switched to infusing my water with lemon and a pinch of sea salt, I realized I felt better, not worse. No crash, no cravings, and no hidden sugars. That small change helped me feel more in control. And honestly, I didn't miss the neon colors or the artificial flavors. It was like I gave my body something it could actually use. So next time you reach for a sports drink, ask yourself, am I really dehydrated, or am I just used to this routine? Your body might need hydration, but it doesn't need sugar to get there. After 60, our bodies process sugar differently, and every little choice counts. I'm not saying you can never have one, but knowing what it's doing inside, you can help you make a better choice next time. That's what worked for me. Number 4, sweet tea. There's something comforting about a glass of sweet tea, especially on a warm morning or early afternoon. It feels light, familiar, even refreshing. I grew up drinking it. My mom used to brew a big pitcher, and we'd enjoy it with lunch or after coming in from the sun. But here's the thing, that sweet tea, it's packed with sugar. Depending on the recipe or brand, a single glass can hold between 26 and 50 grams of sugar. That's more than a candy bar. I never realized it until I started checking the numbers. What makes sweet tea tricky is how normal it feels. It's not as obvious as soda or dessert. It hides behind that natural tea flavor. But once you add sugar, it turns into something your body sees just like soda, a quick burst of glucose that spikes your blood sugar fast. For me, it showed up as a crash an hour later. I'd feel tired, foggy, and snacky, even if I'd just eaten. I kept wondering, why am I so low on energy in the middle of the morning? Sweet tea was one of the sneakiest culprits. I remember talking to a friend at church about this. She had been diagnosed with prediabetes and said cutting sweet tea was one of the hardest habits to change. Not because she didn't want to, but because it was so tied to her daily routine. Morning tea, lunch tea, porch tea. She started making her own version with cinnamon and lemon, no sugar, and felt the difference in just a few days. I tried it too, and it actually grew on me. It wasn't the same at first, but my body thanked me. It's not about giving up comfort. It's about finding new ways to keep the ritual without the crash. I still brew tea, but now I drink it unsweetened or with a splash of real lemon juice. It's simple, refreshing, and doesn't send my blood sugar on a roller coaster. After 60, even small sugar loads can cause big swings, and I've learned that feeling good starts with avoiding those swings. Sweet tea might seem harmless, but the effect on your blood can be strong and fast. So if sweet tea is part of your morning or midday routine, just know you're not alone. It was part of mine too. And breaking that habit wasn't easy. But now, I don't miss the crash, the cravings, or the tired feeling. My mornings are more stable, and I feel more in control. Try switching for a week and see how you feel. You might be surprised, like I was, at just how much energy you actually have when sugar stops calling shots. Number 3, iced coffees with syrups. I used to love grabbing an iced coffee on the way to the market or after a walk. It felt like a little treat, cold, smooth, and energizing. But the more I looked into what was actually in those drinks, the more I realized I wasn't just drinking coffee. I was drinking dessert. Some of these iced coffees, especially the flavored ones with syrups, whipped cream, and milk, contain up to 84 grams of sugar in a single serving. That's more than double the sugar in a regular soda, and I had no idea for years. What's sneaky is how healthy they seem at first. Coffee has a good reputation, and it's true that plain black coffee can have health benefits. But once you add vanilla syrup, caramel drizzle, sweetened milk, and ice, it turns into something else entirely. Your body reacts fast, sugar rushes in, your insulin jumps, and within a short time, your blood sugar can crash. I used to get jittery, then tired, then hungry again an hour later. I didn't know it was my morning coffee doing that to me. A friend of mine, who's a retired teacher, used to call it her energy bomb. But she started noticing that after drinking one, she'd feel sleepy instead of energized. That's blood sugar imbalance in action. Once she started drinking plain iced coffee with cinnamon or unsweetened almond milk, she said her energy was more stable and she didn't feel those afternoon slumps anymore. I followed her lead, and honestly, it changed how I felt all day long. What helped me most was realizing I didn't need to give up iced coffee, just the extras. I now make mine at home with cold brew, a dash of cinnamon, and a splash of oat milk. It still feels like a treat, but now it works with my body instead of against it. And when I do occasionally buy one out, I ask for no syrup and no sweetener. The taste takes a little getting used to, but the difference in how I feel is worth it. No more crashes. No more cravings. So if your morning or midday iced coffee is leaving you foggy or craving snacks, it might be the sugar, not the coffee. Give your body the chance to feel the difference. Try cutting the syrups or switching to a simple version for just a few days. You'll be surprised how quickly your body adapts and how much better you feel when your blood sugar stays balanced. It worked for me, and I wish I had made the switch years earlier. Number 2, Slushies, frozen drinks. They look fun. They feel refreshing, and on a hot day, a slushie can seem like the perfect cool-down treat. I remember getting them after errands, thinking, well, it's just ice and a little flavoring. But the truth is, slushies are mostly frozen syrup, and they can contain up to 83 grams of sugar in a single 20-ounce serving. That's more sugar than 2 slices of cake. And because they're icy and smooth, they go down fast, sending a tidal wave of glucose into your bloodstream. I didn't notice the impact at first. I'd feel a boost, maybe a little buzz of energy, then a heavy crash not long after. I get sleepy, foggy, even a bit irritable. I used to think it was just a heat or a lazy day. But once I stopped drinking slushies, that afternoon slump disappeared. A friend once joked, it's like drinking sugar with a brain freeze. And honestly, he wasn't wrong. The sugar hits hard, and your body scrambles to respond, especially if you're over 60. These drinks are also marketed to feel nostalgic or playful. That's part why they're so tempting. But as we age, our bodies become more sensitive to sugar overload. It's not just about the blood sugar spike. It's the inflammation, the energy crash, and the cravings that follow. I once had one after a long walk, thinking I'd earned it. But instead of feeling rewarded, I felt worse for the rest of the day. That was the last time I made that mistake. What helped me was finding something cold and satisfying that didn't wreck my energy. I started blending ice with unsweetened tea and mint, or adding frozen berries to water. It gave me the same cooling feeling, but without the sugar bomb. At first, it didn't feel quite as fun, but after a few tries, it became a new favorite. And my afternoon started feeling lighter, less sluggish. It's amazing how much more energy you can have just by skipping one sugary drink. So if slushies are part of your summer habit, think about how you feel after drinking one. Are you really refreshed? Or are you more tired, hungrier, and foggier later on? I didn't make the connection until I stepped away from them for a while. But once I did, there was no going back. It's not about missing out. It's about finally feeling better in your own skin. That, to me, is the best treat of all. Number 1, regular soda. If there's one drink I wish I had stopped sooner, it's regular soda. For years, I drank it with lunch, at barbecues, even just to perk up in the afternoon. It was part of the routine, cold, bubbly, tasty. But what I didn't realize was that I was pouring between 51 and 77 grams of pure sugar into my body with every 600 milliliters bottle. That's more sugar than most desserts. And yet I treated it like a simple beverage. Looking back, it was like drinking a blood sugar bomb without knowing it. What makes soda so dangerous isn't just the sugar. It's how fast it hits you. There's no fiber, no fat, no protein to slow it down. That sugar rushes into your bloodstream like a flash flood. I'd feel a burst of energy, but then I'd crash hard, sleepy, cranky, and craving more. I used to think I just needed another soda to fix it, not realizing I was caught in a loop. One sip turned into 2, then into a daily habit that left me feeling worse and worse over time. A friend of mine used to say, soda is like liquid candy, and he was right. But worse than candy, it doesn't even fill you up, it leaves you hungrier. Studies show that sugary drinks don't satisfy the way solid food does, so you end up eating more and drinking sugar. That's a tough combination for anyone, but especially if you're over 60. Our metabolism slows down and our sensitivity to sugar goes up. It took me a long time to realize this was behind my weight gain and constant fatigue. Quitting soda wasn't easy. The cravings were real. But I started small, switching to sparkling water with lemon, trying herbal teas cold, and even making my own sodas with fruit slices and ice. Within weeks, I noticed my belly felt less bloated, my knees hurt less, and I didn't need that 3 p.m. nap anymore. My doctor noticed too. My blood pressure and glucose readings were better. It wasn't magic. It was just one powerful change that made everything else easier. So if you're still having a soda here and there, or even every day, just know you're not alone. I was there too. But once I saw what it was doing to me, I couldn't unsee it. And the good news? It's never too late to cut back or quit. Your body can bounce back, especially when you stop feeding the spike. For me, removing soda was like lifting a heavy fog I didn't know I was living under. Try it for a week. Your body will thank you more than you can imagine. So now you've seen the drinks that can quietly push your blood sugar off balance, and maybe you recognize 1 or 2 from your own routine. That's okay. I did too. I used to think a small drink here and there couldn't hurt, especially if I was eating healthy otherwise. But what I didn't realize was how these little habits stack up over time. It wasn't about blame. It was about finally seeing the full picture. And once I did, I felt empowered to make small, meaningful changes. The good news is, it doesn't take a complete life overhaul. Just swapping one drink at a time can make a difference. I started with cutting soda, then adjusted my coffee, and eventually let go of sweet tea. Each step gave me a little more energy, a little more clarity. And when you feel better, it becomes easier to keep going. If you're over 60, like me, your body still wants to heal. It just needs fewer battles to fight every day. Removing these blood sugar bombs is a great place to start. I want to be clear, I'm not a doctor, just someone who's walked this road. What worked for me may be different for you, and that's okay. Before making big changes to your diet, your supplements, or anything you rely on daily, I always recommend checking in with your doctor or qualified health provider. Think of them like your co-pilot. Your health is personal, and your plan should be too. This video is just a conversation between friends, from someone who cares and wants to see you feel better. Because at the end of the day, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. You deserve mornings with more energy, less pain, and more joy in simple things. Imagine waking up and not feeling tired before the day even begins. That's not a fantasy. That's what happens when your blood sugar stabilizes, your cravings ease, and your energy stays steady. And it starts with the drinks you choose, every morning, 1 cup at a time. If this video helped you see things in a new way, give it a like, share it with someone you love, and let me know in the comments what drink you're ready to swap. I read every message, and I love hearing your stories. Remember, it's never too late, and you're not too far gone. Your body still listens to you, and with the right steps, it can still surprise you.